and the winter winds have come and they have gone, and still the day goes.
It's the Vegas Bowl, Tuesday morning at 10 on AM 1400, KSHP North Las Vegas, and KSHP.com.
And guess whose size is
USA Radio News.
A country without borders is not a country at all. We need borders. We need security. We need safety. We have to take care of our people. You take a look at the death and destruction that's been caused by people coming into this country without going through a process. We want a merit-based immigration system.
President Trump earlier today at the White House, he was delivering the keynote address at the National Space Council meeting. The president is still taking heat from both sides of the aisle regarding the zero-tolerance policy on immigration. According to a top South Korean official, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo will soon meet with North Korean officials to discuss the next step in the denuclearization deal. The official was unsure as to when the next negotiations would begin. As you recall, President Trump said last week after reaching an agreement with North Korea's Kim Jong-un that he wanted things to move quick. This is USA Radio News.
I'm Captain Obvious, and Hotels.com rewards me basically everywhere I stay. Hey, so why am I outside my beachfront suite aimlessly leading a 40-guest conga through the streets of Myrtle Beach? Hey, because Hotels.com lets me do me. Hey, and because once you start a conga, apparently it's impossible to stop. Hey, I have no idea where I'm leading these people. Hey, Hotels.com. You do you and get rewarded.
Wayne Allen Root for Bullet Blocker. I love these guys. Sometimes you find a product and you go, wow, why didn't I think of that? Trained as an Army Ranger and former deputy sheriff, Joe Curran invented the world's first bulletproof backpack. Now Joe has built a successful made-in-the-USA company that offers bullet-resistant products for your most precious asset, your children. Backpacks, bulletproof clothing, vests, briefcase, and more. Bullet Blocker gives your kids the gift of life. Stylish clothing that protects like police body armor. Go to bulletblocker.com and enter code WAR to save 10%. That's bulletblocker.com, bulletblocker.com.
A fifth illegal immigrant has died from their injuries suffered in a rollover accident 100 miles southwest of San Antonio, Texas. With more on the story, here's USA Radio Network's John Clemens.
U.S. Border Patrol agents and sheriff deputies were trying to stop the Chevy Suburban, but the vehicle sped away traveling at 100 miles an hour when the driver lost control and the vehicle rolled over several times. I spoke to reporter Japhanie Gray of San Antonio's KSAT TV 12.
During that impact, several people were ejected, 14 people total inside of the vehicle, including a driver and a passenger who were both U.S. citizens, and the rest were undocumented immigrants.
I'm John Clemens.
A majority of voters over the age of 50 in Florida approve of President Trump. That's according to a new poll out by Politico and the AARP. The poll found that 52% of voters 50 plus approve of President Trump, while 44% do not approve and 4% had no opinion. This is USA Radio News.
Hi, this is Wayne Allen Root. I'm a father of 4, and I worry every day about this dangerous world. There are so many things that could go wrong. Economic collapse, stock market crash, terrorist attack, war with North Korea. There's a lot to worry about when it comes to protecting your income, assets, and your family's future. Thankfully, my good friends at Tangible Investments are your safe haven from the storm. Call now, and Tangible Investments will send you absolutely free a 1-ounce American Silver Eagle along with your guide for investing in precious metals. To receive your free American Silver Eagle, call toll-free 800-780-9000. That's 800-780-9000.
Meghan Markle's father, Thomas Markle, spoke out today for the first time since his daughter's wedding last month. Markle joined Good Morning Britain to talk about his heart attack and ultimately what happened.
I talked to Harry and Meghan, and at that time I started getting heart palpitations, and at that time I started getting chest pains, and I said I have to cancel.
He also talked about what it was like to see his daughter walk down the aisle.
She was beautiful. It was incredible watching her. I cried a little bit about it, but she was so beautiful walking down that aisle and so proud and so gorgeous. I was very proud. I couldn't have seen a better moment in my life.
Thomas Markle then shares a phone call he had with his daughter and Prince Harry.
Meghan told me first, and then a few times after that, Harry got on the phone with Meghan. They called me together. And Harry asked for her hand over the phone, and I said, you're a gentleman. Promise me you'll never raise your hand against my daughter, and of course I give you my permission.
Apple is working on a way for emergency officials to know where you are when you call 911. Apple is hoping its next operating system will be more reliable regarding your location when you make a call to one of 6,300 emergency response centers in the U.S. And finally, it was back on this date in 1812 when the War of 1812 begins. For USA Radio News, I'm...
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell.
The thoughts and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program's participants and do not necessarily represent those of station staff, management, and advertisers.
Are you looking for someone to provide training to your sales staff? Do you need a motivational speaker about how to handle change? Do you have an upcoming event that needs an MC to handle those responsibilities? Well, look no further than longtime Las Vegas radio personality Aaron Phillips. I am local to Las Vegas, and I can blend my talents with any audience. For more information, please visit www.aaronphillipsvoice.com and book me for your next event or training needs.
It's that time. It's time for Aaron's Hour. Aaron's Hour. 60 minutes of information, inspiration, motivation, and fun. If you're looking to talk politics or religion, this show's not for you. Aaron's Hour. Aaron's Hour. Conversations with the opinion makers, movers and shakers, risk takers, and your phone calls at 702-221-7283. That's 702-221-SAVE. Aaron's Hour. Aaron's Hour. Hosted by longtime Las Vegas broadcaster, author, and motivational speaker Aaron Phillips. In seminars across the country, he's inspired and motivated thousands. Now he's going to inspire and motivate you. And he'll do it with passion, style, and his trademark sense of humor. Now, here is the host of Aaron's Hour, Aaron Phillips.
And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to hour number 2 of Aaron's Hour. That's right. Aaron's Hour, 2 hours? That's right, folks. The best 2-for-1 deal in Las Vegas. One show, 2 hours. Right here every Monday beginning at 10 a.m. on KSHP Las Vegas, KSHP 1400 a.m. Las Vegas. Woo! I guess that energy drink is starting to wear off now a little bit. But anyway, so thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching on Facebook. We appreciate it. We hope you're having a good time, getting some good information, having some fun, and learning some new people in Las Vegas. The movers and shakers here in Las Vegas, we are more than gambling and food and clubs for men. Anyway, so Dan.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm great.
Hour 2.
Hour number 2, we're ready to go.
All right. Let me introduce my friend to my... This is going to get very confusing for the next 2 hours.
Okay.
Or for the next hour, because my guest in studio for hour number 2 is a gentleman I met only a couple of months ago, but it seems like we've been good friends like forever at this point. Dan Allen, Esquire. How did they get Esquire for an attorney?
I don't know.
How did that?
Maybe
Is that
he
like
knows.
British or English or something?
Yes, as far as I know, and I'm by no means an expert at this.
You can adjust this. There you go. To your comfort level.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
As far as I know, it has to do with knighthood.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
protecting people.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense. So, all right, that's good because, I would think, like Dan Allen, attorney, obviously makes sense. But I never realized where Esquire comes from. To me, an Esquire is a newspaper because we used to have Esquires back east, right? The New Jersey Esquire. So that's good. All right, there you go. So that answered one of my questions.
Well, I always think of Ted Theodore Esquire. From
Bill
and
S.
Ted.
It's Bill S. Preston Esquire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bill, but the other one, that's Bill. Bill's an Esquire.
Okay, see.
Yeah.
I got the movie
That's what
right.
I was about to say the same thing.
All right, so Dan is here. We'll be talking about with Dan about his practice of family law, and we'll get into some good stuff with him and getting to know him a little later. But first, Danny.
Yeah,
Dan.
that's fine.
Okay, yeah, hey, you. Board man. I love lists.
Yeah.
You know what that means. Top of the hour, number 2. I got
excited.
a list. Let's kick it off.
I like lists. Are we doing the Rock?
Yes,
I'm
please.
excited.
What the Rock is cooking.
Oh, yeah. Even just listening to that right now, I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah, I love that.
Look at that crap. Look at that. So you can leave this in the background. It's fine. So with Money in the Bank pay-per-view last night.
Okay.
So, of course, I'm always in this wrestling thing.
Yeah, me too.
The WWE title and the Intercontinental title were both up for grabs last night.
Yeah.
So what did I do with all my friends and family in the house? I went upstairs to my office and I brought down my replica. I should have brought them in today. My replica belts of both titles. So
Yeah.
they were sitting there as part of the pay-per-view. So we started getting into a discussion about The Rock, about how great he is doing movies. And I could listen to a Rock's promo forever. I just love the way he commands the audience. So I came across the top 10 Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's best movies.
Okay, his best movies.
His best movies.
Now, most successful or best?
Let's read the description.
Okay, yeah.
So it will be obviously left up to interpretation, of course, and that's not counting the newest movie or two that just came out that he just did. What, Skyscraper was one.
And Rampage.
And Rampage. So those two I don't think are in the list, but number 10, Scorpion King.
I like that one. That was his first big movie.
I was just going to say, that's really where he got on the map, right?
Yep.
All right, so Scorpion King. Number 9, as we work up the other way, this was G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Okay.
That was
all right.
It was fair.
Yeah.
I think 9, I don't know if 9, if it would have made the top 10 if I did a list.
Right.
But 9 is okay, I guess. This was a funny movie, and I'm glad when I saw the movie, I didn't spend like $10 a ticket to see it in the movies, but for the $4.99 on demand or my DirecTV service, Central Intelligence with him and Kevin Hart.
Oh, yeah. Me and my wife watched that. We were in a hotel room, like on vacation, and we were watching it one night, and we liked it. It was fun.
Yeah, it was good. What I really liked best in that movie was early on when they portrayed him as the nerdy high school student in the shower.
Fat kid. Yeah.
The nerdy in the shower. He's dancing like the 80s music, and it's people walking on, and that was funny. And I know the two of them together doing Jumanji was supposedly a kick in the pants, too. But that was good. That was number 8. Number 7, which I think this was probably his first serious movie, which I absolutely loved, The Gridiron Gang.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that one.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't? You got to watch it.
That's a fantastic
Isn't it?
one. I would say that was like top 2 for me.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't score higher because the message in this, where he's dealing with kids who were gang-related in a juvenile detention center, he puts together this football team to give them a common purpose and enjoy something in life. And I really thought, like you said, maybe top 5 at least, Dan.
Yes, absolutely.
But number 7 is where Gridiron Gang shows up. Number 6, this is a movie I got to be honest, I never heard of. Maybe you guys have. It's called The Other Guys.
You need to watch that.
Really?
Now, he's not in it that long. It's fantastic.
Okay.
It's one of the funniest movies I've seen in quite a while.
Okay. Samuel Jackson was in this, it looks like. Will Ferrell was in this. To me, when you say the word other guys, it needs that Italian accent. The other guys, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of needs that. But like you said, it says actually here in the description, it's not his most prominent role. It is a supporting role. But for him in that kind of role to make number 6, I guess, is not bad. All right, let's go to number 5. Top 5 all-time, top best 10 movies. Best, yeah, right. You want to take, I guess this one is in there. You want to guess what number 5 is? Danny, you're good at guessing these things.
Number 5. Let's go with Walking Tall.
Ooh, Jumanji actually did make this list. Yes, number 5 came in with Jumanji. Number 4, I just saw this movie last weekend of his. Number 4, you want to take a shot?
San Andreas.
Moana.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forget he's in that one.
That's right. He's basically he's like
and he sings.
He sings. Yes, The Rock sings, which we saw in wrestling many times where he sings.
Yeah.
But this was a different kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, Moana was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it for a cartoon, for animated.
Right.
It was actually very good. Number 3, not familiar with this one at all, believe it or not, but Pain and Gain.
Pain and Gain? Oh, that's the Mark Wahlberg one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's actually good.
Is it really?
Good.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, what is it about?
It's about three guys that bodybuild.
Okay.
And they get all mixed up in drugs and stuff, right? There's like all there's like gangsters involved.
Wonderful.
It's very slapstick.
It's based on a true story, though.
Oh, okay.
It's like a ridiculous true story.
Gotcha. All right. Well, yeah, the description is here. They talk about them being a trio of Miami bodybuilders who resort to kidnapping and extortion to achieve the wealth they so badly crave.
Right.
So, okay, I'll have to check that one out because I'd never heard of that one. Number 2, you want to take a shot at the number 2 movie?
Number 2. I'm trying to think of like the big blockbusters.
Okay.
It's got to be a Fast and the Furious one.
Yep, number 2, the Fast and the Furious series. They give him credit for combined. Of course, I was not a fan of the Fast and Furious series. It's not my genre of movie. To me, though, the one thing I remember about all of that is the fighting he did with Vin Diesel in the public eye.
Yeah.
How these two guys didn't get along.
The Fast and Furious series, I feel, is something you watch in the theaters because of the special effects.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Some movies are better seen on the bigger screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great point.
You don't watch it for the story. You watch it for the special effects.
For the action and the car chases. Isn't that where that one actor lost his life while filming Paul something or other?
I want to say it's Fast
Paul
5.
Walker.
Yes, I want to say it was Fast 5 of the movie afterwards.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. All right. Number 1. Take a shot.
I can't think of his. There's a few of them. I threw out San Andreas earlier. I'll throw it out again.
All right. No.
Okay.
The Rundown.
Oh, with the guy with Stifler.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
okay.
Yes, where he's like a bounty hunter.
That's his number one?
That's number one, according to this. Let's see what the description says here. The Rundown was one of Johnson's earliest efforts after The Mummy Returns and The Scorpion King jump-started his career. And even more than a decade later, remains the definitive action comedy romp by which all his subsequent movies are judged.
Interesting.
On paper, there's nothing terribly unique about The Rundown, as it could just as easily have been at the basis of Schwarzenegger or Stallone 10 years prior to that. It cast Johnson as a fixer named Beck, who was dispatched to Brazil to reign his employer's son, Sean William Scott. Rundown's appeal is all in its execution. Johnson himself shows a knack for playing a more intelligent, nuanced hero, even as he blazes through the jungle and jumps from one set to the next. The movie also thrives on the hilarious dynamic between Johnson and Scott, as well as Christopher Walken is in that movie, which I forgot.
Right.
Typically kooky and entertaining as well. Clearly, the rock star power has only grown over the years since The Rundown. I'll tell you what, there's another one that comes to mind, which is kind of funny about this one. The Tooth Fairy, I thought was pretty good for a family movie.
Yeah.
For a family movie, I thought that was pretty good. And then, what's the other one where he had the young daughter, The Game Plan? Where he was the football star, and then his ex-wife dumps the daughter in his lap, and he had all of a sudden...
Didn't see that one.
Yeah. I think it was called The Game Plan or The Backup Plan or something like that, where he's the football star.
Yeah.
Like, he's the star quarterback, has all the trophies and accolades, and then all of a sudden he finds out he has a daughter because his ex-wife or girlfriend drops the girl basically on his... And she was like, I want to say 10. So she then gets involved with the football, and this whole perspective of life changes. So I thought that was a pretty good movie, too.
I'm very surprised that Walking Tall didn't make the list.
I love that movie.
I was going to say I was number one, if
Yeah.
anything.
It's a true story. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
That's what's great about lists. They're only as good as the person who's compiling
Right,
it. Because
very
if we sat
subjective.
down and did our own list, I guarantee you none of our lists would be the same. So we would probably agree on certain movies where they fall would be different. So, and of course, to me, his best portrayal will always be The Rock.
Absolutely.
I think his movie career has been better than John Cena.
Yeah.
But Cena has transitioned better into TV roles in terms of hosting.
Right. Hosting
and
the Today Show.
Right. And in my opinion, I think he's ultimately going to take over the seat that Matt Lauer.
Really?
That's just my
Wow.
opinion. Because of how often he's on the Today
on
Show.
a lot, yeah.
He's on that last hour with the two gals, I mean, he's around that a lot. So, and he does a lot of kid show hostings and things like that. But that's just that and $5, folks, will get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Thank you, Diana. You're right. We talked about this yesterday, Diana, and this is where I kind of got the inspiration for that list. Lorena, thank you. Gary, Roxanne's out there. Radar's out there. Rachel's out there. Jeremiah, thank you, guys. Kathy's out there. Bill, thank you so much for joining in for hour number 2. When we come back on the other side, Daniel Allen Esquire, LTD. Is that also on your card? No, just Esquire.
Just Esquire.
An all-around good guy. We'll be up next right here on Aaron's Hour, KSHP 1400 AM Las Vegas.
Do you wake up every day with little aches and pains? Or worse yet, were you injured in a car accident? Were you injured just getting out of bed? If you said yes to any of the above, then you need to call Doctors Danielle Buda and Jody Altman from the Centennial Wellness Center. Located in the Northwest Centennial Hills area, Dr. Buda and Dr. Altman make sure that every treatment provided is tailored to your specific aches and pains. The entire staff is dedicated to making sure that the finest chiropractic care is given to each and every patient. Call 702-458-2225 to schedule your free consultation. Centennial Wellness Center, 702-458-2225.
Do you know someone who's been recently injured in a vehicle accident, by a product defect, slip and fall, or know a family member who's lost a loved one by wrongful death? If so, you'll need an experienced attorney to handle your case. Call Bradley Belisario at Belisario Law today to schedule a free consultation to review your case. Bradley provides specialized service by getting to know his clients on a personal level. In most cases, no fees are due until you win. In the case of a lawsuit, client may be responsible for opposing parties' attorney fees. Bradley Belisario has 2 convenient locations, with one in North Las Vegas and the other in Summerlin. Call today for your free consultation at 702-936-4800. That's 702-936-4800. Or visit us on the web at belisariolaw.com. Hurt badly? Call Bradley. How many times have you looked back at your staff and wished there was a better way to know how well they'll perform at their position? Over time, how much money have you wasted on the wrong hire? Guess what? There's a better way. Upside Business Solutions gives you the tools to understand how your staff will reach peak performance. Other personality assessments, such as DISC, Myers-Briggs, and StrengthsFinder, does not tell you how someone will perform. Upside Business Solutions uses the Colby assessment to identify the natural way an individual will take action. With this assessment, the candidate will have the natural ability to meet the job expectations you establish to find the best hire. Contact Vicki at 702-506-2960 to schedule a consultation. Mention Aaron's Hour and receive 15% off a Colby A assessment. When you're ready to uncover the mystery of human performance, call Vicki at 702-506-2960 to help bring out the best in your people.
Welcome back to Aaron's Hour number 2, the bonus hour in your 2-for-1 deal here in Las Vegas. For those who don't recognize this is my special theme music for attorneys in general, Night Court. You remember Night Court?
I do. I was a kid when it came on, but I remember the big bald guy, and then it came
Richard
on
Mole.
late at night.
Richard Mole. His nickname
Bull.
was Bull.
Yeah,
right?
Bull, right.
Harry Anderson played the judge. Marky Post was the defense attorney. And John
Larroquette
played the prosecutor.
Yeah, just the big bald guy and the music.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I have to give a plug. It is in the works. Marsha Warfield, who played the bailiff, the second bailiff, Mutual Contact is helping me. Hopefully we'll get Marsha on the show here in the near time. So that'll be a lot of fun to talk with her. She does a show here in Vegas a couple of nights a week. So
Marsha Warfield Experience.
Yes. She's at a downtown theater, right?
It's Stratosphere.
Okay, downtown at the Stratosphere.
LA Comedy Club.
There you go. Perfect. Thank you. I'll send her a bill for the plug. But anyway, come on. I won't even charge her if she comes on. Anyway, please welcome my guest for hour number 2, Dan Allen, Esquire, Family Law. Thank you for coming in, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me. So far, it's been an amazing experience. It's only been like a couple minutes, you know?
Most people have that impression when we're done, so which is good. This will be fun. You know, you know what? You ought to think about doing your own radio show about family law. I bet 2 might be in the works. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. I get nothing extra for that, just throwing out the idea. But, you know, anyway. So, all right. So Dan we met a couple of months ago, but we hit it off, and it feels like we've been friends for a lot longer than just a couple of months, which is great.
Yeah.
Because we've just sort of adopted each other. We realized we had a lot in common and stuff about health and nutrition when we first met, and how we're working towards that better lifestyle.
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely love your story.
Thank you.
It's just so captivating and motivating, and you know, it's one of the coolest things to hear about stories of success, stories of triumph.
I appreciate that. That means a lot coming from you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so let's talk about it. So let's talk. I'm always intrigued by people, how they get into the profession that they do. So let's talk about just a little background, where you're from, what do you do, and why law?
All right. So I was born in Orange County, grew up there the first 7 years of my life, but I've lived most of my life here.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't a great high school student. And I had to, well, I didn't have to, but I decided to join the Army at 19.
Okay. Thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you. I'm sorry. You're welcome.
All right. That's fine. Thank you. And you're welcome is good, too.
There you go, right? You get both.
That's right.
So during my time in the Army, I was deployed to Iraq. I had a chance to be stationed in Germany as well, and actually moved out there after the Army. And at that time, I was married, and I have a son that lives out there. Well, things didn't work out, and I had to move back here in 2008, here being Las Vegas, and I guess the United States too, right? Because I was out of the country.
Right.
I get a job. My dad does HVAC estimating, air conditioning estimating, and that's one of the only things I knew how to do aside from sales, but that was something I can get in right away and make some money. I was like, okay,
Very hands-on kind of thing.
Right, which, by the way, I am not mechanically inclined, right? I make screwing, just a screw in with a screwdriver or a drill, a 30-minute process. So you can imagine when I go down there and, I'm trying to do something simple,
right?
How long it's taken, how frustrating my bosses are getting.
Man, I feel your pain. My wife has to put the X on the wall for me to put a nail in for a shelf, so I get it, man.
My fiance does most of that stuff,
right.
so yeah. By the way, she's listening. A shout out to Shelly. How you doing, babe?
Hi,
Love
Shelly.
ya.
Call in and give us the real story. 702-221-7283. Give us the real story on Dan.
So at any rate, then doing the air conditioning thing, and as I said, it didn't really work out well. This is during the recession where it first started. One of the first places to get nixed as far as businesses were construction businesses.
Right.
So they laid me off, and I didn't know what to do. And I made a decision that was very brash and probably should have done my research on, honestly, looking back. But I decided to choose paralegal school for 2 reasons. 1, I'm not good with my hands. 2, I hate the heat. So I knew I'd work in an office, and I knew I wouldn't have to, use tools or whatnot.
There you go.
So anyways, I'm starting paralegal classes. I like it because my first experience with college, I hadn't been back to school in 10 years. By now I'm 28. And I was in this bankruptcy class. And if you guys didn't know already, bankruptcy is one of the most boring subjects. It would be like taking an accounting class, right? You're dealing with just
no
real
offense to
dry
accountants,
stuff.
by the way. No offense to accountants. We love accountants.
It takes a special breed. So anyways, I was doing the class, and we were talking about the difference between what we call property of the estate, which basically means what is part of a house.
Okay.
So with certain, and I'm not a bankruptcy attorney by any stretch of the imagination, but one thing that I remember from the class is that if you had if you purchased a fan, and that fan was you haven't installed it yet, it was, let's say, next to a door in its box, when the people come to take your stuff, they can take the fan. However, if you install it on the house, then it becomes property of the estate, and they can't take it.
Really?
And I thought to myself, man, that's really crazy. That's kind of cool to learn. Well, as I'm thinking about this and taking notes, I'm just looking around in the classroom and notice that everyone's either daydreaming or actually dreaming, and they were asleep. And I just decided, man, this may be something I really want to do because I really love this stuff. And I was only in the school for maybe 4 or 5 months, and I decided, hey, if I was going to take this to paralegal and I want to be a paralegal, man, I want to go all the way. So it was at that point I decided to become an attorney because I got lucky, fell in love with the law.
Right. No, that thing about the fan, it sort of makes sense because then it gets affixed to the hard property, right? And that's why it becomes part of the estate.
Right.
Honey, we got all those box fans in the garage. We got to figure out how to install those suckers, okay? Anyway, the box fans usually go in a window. Would that count as part of the estate?
Box on the window?
There's the big square fans that you usually put in a window as an exhaust fan kind of thing.
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay, good. So we're going to now have 3 new fans up in my house in the coming days. Anyway, all right, so you made that. So that was the aha moment for you.
Right.
Okay. So from there, how did you progress from where you are today? What does it take?
So in order to be an attorney in the state of Nevada, you have to have a law degree, a Juris Doctor from what they call an ABA accredited law school. ABA stands for American Bar Association.
Okay.
So basically, association that deems what, as far as law school is concerned, what law schools are, and I don't want to say legitimate, but let's say acceptable. Yeah, that would be a better term.
So accreditation similar to the way colleges are accredited.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So I had to get my bachelor's for that because to get in a law school, you have to have a bachelor's. And at the paralegal program, I was just getting my associates. But I decided, okay, I'm going to finish associates, get my bachelor's. I got that in business administration, and then I went on to law school. Law school was 3 years for me. I went in Costa Mesa, California, so back in Orange County, which is awesome, by the way. 4 miles from the ocean.
Oh.
4 miles from the ocean is 75 degrees every day.
How many times did you study on the ocean?
I never studied the ocean because I'll tell you, I will never get any studying done.
That's true.
You know what I mean? I'd be in the water. I love the water, so there's no way I would have been able to do that. So after my time there, and at the time I was going to stay in California. Well, after looking at the taxes and the cost of living, and all that, and my fiance and I have family here, we decided, okay, we'll move back to Las Vegas. So once you're done with law school, you have to take the bar.
Right.
So you usually apply for the bar 6 months to a year early, depending on the state that you're applying to.
Okay.
And they do a thorough background check on you, and they make sure that everything's on up and up. Then the test itself is 3 days, 8 hours the first 2 days, 4 hours the third day.
Jeez.
Yeah. Then you wait anywhere from 3 to 5 months for your results.
So what do you do during that time period? You can't do anything until you get the results, right?
What you do a lot of is thinking about your results, thinking about what answers you got wrong.
Right.
But for me, I law clerked at a criminal defense and family law firm here in town.
Okay.
And kind of learned my craft a little bit.
Sure.
And then took the bar and failed by less than 1%.
Oh no! Oh, that's like one question, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's one statement. It could be one someone did on an essay. So had to study for it again.
Wow.
And by the way, guys, for anyone who's interested in becoming a lawyer, studying for the bar, you study for about 8 to 10 hours a day, 6 days a week for 2 months. Because if you don't, you just won't learn the material.
Because there's so much information.
Right, and I did that the last time, and I got that result.
Wow.
So I took it again, passed. I don't know my score because they won't tell you when you pass. And then started my law firm. So that's where I'm at. I'm a year after starting my law firm, and I absolutely love it.
Okay, so I just want to clarify. So you've had your own firm now for only 1 year, right?
June 1st, 2017.
There you go. I'll tell you what, that's pretty good. That's a good timetable. Now, your office is located up near Summerlin.
Yes,
right?
over on the corner of Lake Mead and Rampart.
Right. For those who don't know that corner or somewhat familiar, there's a Burger King right there. There's a Terrible Herbst in that area. But behind the Burger King, or really the Chase Bank building, is the Kensington. Is that the name of the office building? Or Kingston?
Keystone.
Keystone. I knew it was a K. I should think Cops. I'll remember Keystone Cops. And that's where you're located, right?
Right.
Okay. So it's very nicely located right off the corner. You can't miss it. Before we go into our break, and we're going to get into the practice and what you do, especially in terms of the family. Just give some quick contact information right now before we go to break.
All right. If you're interested in doing a consultation, my number is 702-576-9885. The address is 8430 West Lake Mead Boulevard, Suite 100, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89128. I also have some Facebook information, but we can give that later.
Yeah, we'll give that out. That's cool. So when we come back on the other side, now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of what Dan does in terms of family law, and we're going to find out maybe some interesting situations he's had to deal with over the last 12 months. You're listening to Aaron's Hour right here on KSHP 1400 AM Las Vegas. I am your host, Aaron, for another 30 minutes or so. Don't go anywhere. More with Dan right after this.
To drop off or pick up a package across town, but you don't have time? Did you leave an item in an Uber or friend's house and need it back ASAP? You name it, and we can pick it up and deliver it to any destination in the Las Vegas or Henderson area the same day. Express services are also available. Rates as low as $12. Visit blazingcouriers.com or call 877-371-9817 or text 702-429-7418. That's blazingcouriers.com.
Have you ever wondered what it would take to be healthy from head to toe? Not just on the outside, but inside as well? Glenn Alex, author of the highly recognized book, Living in Total Health, will guide you to becoming totally healthy. Glenn is a health coach, licensed clinical social worker, public speaker, educator, and humanitarian who has set the standard with her 25 years of experience in the health and wellness industry. Glenn addresses the whole person to achieve optimal health. Glenn's book, Living in Total Health, is not a how-to, but a why-to for a healthy life. Purchase her book through her website, livingintotalhealth.com, for an autographed copy. Or you can get a copy on Amazon, or an ebook version at smashwords.com. Those with a high level of health do not intentionally harm oneself or others. Make the world a better place and start living in total health. Visit livingintotalhealth.com today.
People are probably scratching their heads now. What song is this from?
Now they know it.
Oh, this is Perry Mason.
Yeah, Perry Mason.
For those of you who don't know who Perry Mason was, look up Raymond Burr. And his other role was Ironside, the wheelchair detective. So, yeah, Raymond Burr loved law. Loved law in some form or another. Wow, this was a great pull, man.
I got it like 5 seconds before we came on.
That's good. See, this is why I give Danny poetic license. He knows where I'm kind of going. He just does what he does, which is great. Wow, Raymond Burr. Haven't seen. He's gone like 30 years or
Yeah, I
something,
think
right?
so.
It's gone a long time.
It was this or the Better Call Saul theme, and I figured Perry Mason's more of a positive role model for attorneys.
I think that's good. You're listening to Aaron's Hour. My second hour guest here with me today is Dan Allen. He is family law, right? Of all the things you could go into for law, you chose family law, right?
Family law is originally I was doing criminal defense and family law, and I still do criminal defense, but 90% of my cases are family law right now.
Okay. So why, again, with all the areas potentially, like you talked about bankruptcy law as one of the classes you took, okay? So there's obviously many arms in law that you could practice in. And I know attorneys generally do get involved in different aspects of law, but I would think like yourself, you have specialties. So why did you choose family law, et cetera, as your bread and butter, so to speak?
So the reason why I chose family law is because it's something you can get in right out the gate. As I told you before,
Right.
I'd started my practice right outside of passing the bar.
Okay.
And I needed something that, one, I was very interested in. Family law is incredibly interesting
Okay.
for numerous reasons. But also, that's something that can touch everybody. In other words, most people get married. Most people have children. Most people have these issues.
Right.
And since I didn't have the connections to top of corporations and all this other stuff, right, or the marketing to be like a Glenn Lerner or
Right.
something like that.
We'll send him a bill. Put
Yeah,
him
there
down
you
on
go.
it, would
There you
please?
go. I decided to do family law, and what I come to find out is, it's in high demand. There are quite a bit of cases. There's quite a bit of people that need that type of assistance because there's just a myriad of issues that come up with couples, or former couples, let's say,
Right.
that just that needs the attention of an attorney.
Okay. So now you're licensed right now just in the state of Nevada. Are you licensed to practice anywhere else?
Nowhere else right now, but that's something I'll be working on in the next couple of years.
Okay. So having now had your own practice for a year in family law, I always like asking this of any business owner because I like to look at the lighter and goofier side of things. So does something come to mind like maybe one of the weirdest situations? And I know legally there's things you can and can't say, and I certainly don't want you to disclose anything that shouldn't be. But I'm just curious about any bizarre situations that you've come across so far in a year that would just kind of provide an example of the things you deal with as a family law attorney.
Yeah. So actually, and it's funny, it has to do with more of my criminal defense practice and family law,
Oh,
the
okay.
situation I was thinking of. But this was involving someone I personally have known for a long time.
Oh, wow.
And the individual came in and had a issue involving a child neglect case that they were putting against her. Yeah, it was a very bad situation.
I hate when kids are put in the middle of any family situation like that. That's just terrible for everybody, but especially the kid.
Well, and unfortunately, the child has passed away, and they were trying to determine how culpable my client was.
Oh,
It's just
really?
such a sad situation.
Wow.
So sad. So, yeah. So, anyways, I was helping her with that case, and as it was progressing, the police tried to get a hold of her.
Okay.
She had contacted me and said, "Hey, police wants to come interview me. I was going to get off of work and go do that interview." I'm like, "No, you're not. Are you kidding me? Didn't the police tell you that they're investigating you? Why would you go there by yourself?
Right.
You need an attorney by you." And she said, "Well, will you go with me?" It's like, "Absolutely. I'm going to go over there and tell them that you're not interviewing."
That's right.
Right.
That's
So we
right.
raced down there. We end up waiting, and we go into the room. And the room is no bigger than, I guess, this station, let's say 10 by 10.
Okay.
I'm not sure
Okay.
the dimensions, but real small.
Okay.
And the officer gets in there. There's two officers actually go in there, and they're standing across from us. And I'm probably 2-3 feet away from this person. And I introduced myself.
Mm-hmm.
And the officer stated, "So today you're going to be arrested." And I'm automatically thinking, "Uh-oh, what's going
Say
on?
what?
For what?" You know what I mean? Because I didn't think there was enough, looking at the case, I didn't think
Sure.
there was enough there. And she was just, surprised. She said, "For what?" And as cold, callous, and indifferent as possible, she said, "Murder."
She said that to you?
No, to the client.
Oh, the
So
police
she says
officer.
murder to the client
Gotcha.
in the most, like she was saying, "I want a bag of popcorn."
Right.
I mean,
gotcha.
just very,
Okay.
just cold.
So
and
the police
callous.
officer said that. Okay.
And it was just the most ominous feeling in the world because, again, like I said, I've known this person quite a long time, and I just really worried about her. So,
Sure.
anyways, I felt what it was like to basically have your life ripped away from you.
Yeah, my God. I mean, in wrestling they use a word called swerve. where you're thinking one thing's going to happen and then something else
Yeah.
happens. And that's really what that was. I mean, you guys had to have been blindsided.
Oh, absolutely. So, without getting too more involved,
Of course.
right? She's decided to go with a more experienced criminal defense attorney, and luckily for her, stuff is looking better for her.
So it's working out for her. Well, as best as
it's
could
better
be.
than what it is, right? What it was when I was there.
Okay.
So yeah, that was probably a very weird situation. It was very personal for me. The next thing, or another thing, I was just thinking about, it has to do with family. Also, my very first trial, involving a couple, and the kid was the child that was involved was about 15 years old, and 6 months earlier was all lovey-dovey towards the mom, really loved the mom, and this the opposing party came so just brainwashed the kid so much to the point where the kid admitted to my client being beaten.
Okay.
Admitted to my client certain situations, for example, having an iron inches from your face, and then stated on the stand that all that was irrelevant. Just irrelevant as to why my client was afraid of the So, these cases get very, very sad. It takes a special type of attorney, special type of person to be able to do these cases.
Because you have to take for yourself, you have to take your emotion out of it.
Yes.
And that's got to be hard. I mean, doctors, they emotionally can get attached to patients. You hear those stories, all that. I mean, when you hear the stories that you have to defend or work with, I got to imagine there's quite a few that pull at your heartstrings, that it's harder for you to get that emotion out of there for you, right?
Yeah, and here's the thing. Most attorneys will tell you that they try to take the emotion out when they're speaking to you candidly, because there's just so many cases. It's really hard for me to do that because I'm a very emotional person to begin with. And I take them personally. A person's choosing something very, very dear to their life. If something's very serious, someone's going to have a long-lasting effect. It's trusting me, not only trusting me, but paying me to do that. So it's something I take very seriously, something that I'm honored to do, and try to do the best I can.
I mean, I couldn't. I'm like you. I have that emotional attachment to what I do, and if I were in your shoes, if I were an attorney or a doctor, I'd have a hard time pulling that emotion. Because I'm a Cancer. That's my zodiac sign. We're emotional people. We wear our emotions on our sleeves. And that would be probably the hardest thing for me to do, to try to pull the personal emotion out, to get past that into the nitty-gritty details so that I, as a person, can defend based on knowledge and smarts and everything, not just the emotion. That's got to be hard.
Yeah, it's tough.
So in a lighter note to that question, then, what do you do for yourself at the end of the day? That's probably a little ahead of my getting to know you question. At the end of the day, you're emotionally, internally attached to a case, a person, a situation. At the end of the day, what do you do then to allow that emotion to escape so that you can focus again the next day and get back into it?
Well, I've been really getting into working out. And I know for those of you that are watching on Facebook, you're just like, yeah, right, look at you, dude. But I've been doing this for about a month and a half. This is one of the reasons why when we met, I was so inspired by your story, because I'm kind of going through those beginning stages. But I've just noticed when I'm out there lifting weights, that all that physical work is really helping me, with all the emotional work, the mental work, and all that. And I also am a big video game guy. I'm a
gamer.
When it comes, I'm a total gamer.
What's your number one game?
My number one game of all time would probably be Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Either that or Final Fantasy VII.
That's my favorite game of all time.
Yeah. I'm just not sure which one. I'm a huge RPG guy. So
Final Fantasy VII. I was just thinking about that in my head. Ooh, do I have a favorite? That is it.
Which by the way, they were supposed to do a remake for, and
I'm waiting.
5 years later, it's still being remade, trying to be remade.
Oh man.
I'm a solitaire guy myself.
Mahjong.
Let me tell you, when I was growing up, you know what games were? Pong on the old Atari set.
I played Pong, yeah.
Do you know what Pong is?
Yeah.
Okay. The way you guys looked at me for a second, I'm like, these guys don't know what I'm talking about. But that was the game in the mid-'70s, was Pong by Atari. Boop. Boop.
Yeah, and then they make like 4 or 5 versions of basically the same thing.
Pretty much.
But it's absolutely amazing. I grew up during the Nintendo days, so I grew up as a child with video games.
My brother had the Nintendo that he and I would play, but he grew up in that same era with the Nintendo stuff and all of that.
Well, now you got people making millions of dollars just playing video games.
I know. Testing this stuff out, right? For the betterment of the research and development.
No. They make money playing a finished
players.
game.
That's right.
Yeah.
They have these competitions.
We have an esports arena here in Vegas
now.
There's one at the Luxor.
I'm sorry. What's the one with the bean bags? Cornhole?
Yeah, there's professional cornhole.
I mean, really? Throwing a beanbag into a hole
There's
and you
big
got
money in it.
Oh, I know there is. But
how could you imagine introducing yourself? What do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a professional cornholer.
Right.
Great name.
It's crazy, but you're right. These video games now, they have their own leagues. You're right. There is like poker. I mean, poker has its own genre of professionals and tournaments. Gaming does have that as well. It's so different. But anyway, we digress. But I'm glad you answered that because you need to have your own outlet for yourself emotionally, whether it's lifting weights, doing exercise, playing games, the gamer stuff. I mean, that's got to release your brain as well to just focus on anything but the emotion of what you're doing.
Oh, absolutely.
Because otherwise, I got to imagine if you keep all that emotion in, A, your fiance probably would not be happy with you, and B, that would be damaging to you in a lot of health reasons as well.
Oh, yes, and that's all you think about because then you get up the next day,
right?
Just
drudging.
You know, what's the next situation?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of dreading what you got up next. All right, we're going to step aside for our quick break real quickly. Give your contact information again.
Phone number is 702-576-9885. Address is 8430 Westlake Mead Boulevard, Suite 100, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89128.
That's Dan Allen joining me here on the Aaron Phillips Show, coming to you from 1400 AM Las Vegas. We'll be back with Getting to Know You with Dan the Man right after this.
Have you recently looked outside your home at your landscaping and thought, it's almost that time of year to start cleaning up? But then reality hits you and you realize that you just don't have the time you want to work on it. Thankfully, there's a solution. Martinez Lawn Service is ready to help. Serving the Las Vegas Valley for over 15 years, Martinez Lawn Service can help you design, build, and maintain your functional landscape. From simple yard cleanup, trimming, and sprinkler repair to designing desert and water-smart landscapes for you to enjoy and entertain guests. So what are you waiting for? Visit them on their website at martinez-lawn-service.com or call them in their office today at 702-373-0643 for a free estimate to see your vision come to life. Call 702-373-0643. Martinez Lawn Service, over 15 years of service and experience. Call today, 702-373-0643. How many times have you looked back at your staff and wished there was a better way to know how well they'll perform at their position? Over time, how much money have you wasted on the wrong hire? Guess what? There's a better way. Upside Business Solutions gives you the tools to understand how your staff will reach peak performance. Other personality assessments, such as DISC, Myers-Briggs, and StrengthsFinder, does not tell you how someone will perform. Upside Business Solutions uses the Colby assessment to identify the natural way an individual will take action. With this assessment, the candidate will have the natural ability to meet the job expectations you establish to find the best hire. Contact Vicki at 702-506-2960 to schedule a consultation. Mention Aaron's Hour and receive 15% off a Colby A assessment. When you're ready to uncover the mystery of human performance, call Vicki at 702-506-2960 to help bring out the best in your people.
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you, getting to like
All right,
you,
welcome back. Sometimes
you.
the best conversations go on when the mics are not on. But anyway, all right, so Getting to Know You time with Dan Allen. And guys, for those of you first-time listeners, Getting to Know You allows me an opportunity to have my guests be seen as real people, not just as an attorney or the business. There are people behind the businesses and the topics and the messages my guests bring. So I want you to see and understand Dan is a human being. So this segment is just really to get to know you above and beyond the attorney side of who you are.
There you go.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Rapid fire questions. First thing that comes to mind, that's what I want you to answer me with.
Okay.
All right? I may follow up with why, but for the most part, there you go.
There you go.
Favorite song of all time that you would sing in the shower, in your car? Maybe you drive your fiance crazy singing, but what's your favorite song of all time?
Master of Puppets by Metallica, although I don't know all the words.
Yeah, well, that's okay, but okay, gotcha.
I would say secondly would be Santeria from Sublime.
Okay.
I love Sublime.
All right. Favorite all-time actor, movie or television?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Well, that's 2 shows in a row. Two interviews in a row.
Yeah.
What particular reason for him?
Because he does a lot of historical pieces, and I
Okay.
love history, and he does it so well.
Okay, so I hate to ask this, but I'll ask it anyway. What's your favorite movie of his in that genre?
Oh, man. I love Gangs of New York. That's a really interesting one. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it talks about an area, not only an area of time, but a location that really wasn't spoken about much.
Right. That was a lot of underground stuff.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool. Favorite all-time actress, TV or movie? See what happens when you don't study?
Yeah. I don't know if I have an actress. Yeah, I'll have to pass on that one.
Okay.
I can't think of anybody.
No worries.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. That happens quite a lot. Actors seem to be easier than actresses
Yeah.
when I ask that question. All right. Favorite all-time movie that when it's on, you drop everything and say, I got to sit down and watch this.
Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah. And you know what doesn't hurt? That movie seems to be on almost every other day on the channels.
Yeah.
AMC is notorious for playing it, but that is a great movie. I agree with you on that one. My all-time favorite is everything from A League of Their Own to Fiddler on the Roof. Those are my two all-time. Oh, and Cinderfella by Jerry Lewis. Favorite cartoon character and why?
Lionel from Thundercats.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome.
Get that one ready to go.
Oh, man, I heard it. No, I heard it when you guys were talking to
Oh, you
Jeremiah.
did good. Oh, that's
good. Mine's Lionel.
Damn, he cheated.
I didn't even hear. Well, no, I didn't even hear what he said. But I was just like, "Oh, Lionel, that's easy."
Well, Bridget had a Bugs Bunny.
Oh,
and he had
okay.
Felix the Cat.
Okay.
And he didn't know why, but he does have a tattoo of Felix the Cat on his arm because he never saw the show. He knew that he had the bag of tricks and all of that. But for whatever the reason, he was attracted to Felix the Cat.
I've always liked, and for those of you who watched Thundercats, Lionel had this little sword that grew as he, stayed Thundercats. It just always looked cool to me. So I always made sure when I was a kid, man, right there watching
Boy,
Thundercats every weekday.
That description of the sword, I could take in a whole different direction. But
You
I won't.
can, but this is
AM radio. I'm not on
station.
internet
You can.
anymore. So, well, I am on internet theoretically, but these guys have an FCC license I have to protect. So, all right, favorite genre of music. I think you kind of touched on it, but give me a genre of music that you love.
Alternative, 90s alternative, to be specific.
Okay, very good. If money were no object and you could park any type of vehicle in your driveway, what would it be?
Lamborghini, and I don't know what type of Lamborghini because I don't have the money to look any deeper than Lamborghini.
Just knows
so
the
all I
title.
know, yeah. So once if I ever get to that level, then I'll, dive into what kind.
All right, but you know the general type of car.
Absolutely.
All right, that's good. Again, I think we touched on this earlier, but what's your favorite leisure thing to do in Vegas?
In Vegas?
Yeah, well, okay, let me rephrase that. What's your favorite leisure thing to do, period?
Go to the beach, but those are for, areas where there's
Okay.
beaches. I just love the water. Doing
Okay.
anything with water.
I'm the same way. I think
Yeah.
in one of my previous lives, I was a pirate.
Yeah.
I'm just drawn to water. I love the ocean. I love, in a couple of weeks, I'm heading out of town. I'm going to Lake Havasu, and I plan on spending 8 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
On a float in the lake right there. That's all I
I've
plan
never
on doing.
been. I need to go to Lake Havasu.
You know what's
I've never
great
been
about
there.
Havasu? It's far enough, yet close enough. It's only like 2 hours and 15 minutes, about 180 miles. It's the easiest drive you could take, and it's really nice to escape down there. And the water is great. I mean, it's not the ocean. If you like oceans, and this isn't the place for you, but if you just love water and you want to escape, try Lake Havasu.
Oh, okay.
All right? Tell them Aaron sent you that, and $5 will get you coffee at Starbucks. So what's your favorite Las Vegas thing that you might like to do?
So, well, we don't really have one now. My fiance and I used to watch this 80s cover band called the Spasmatics.
I remember the Spasmatics.
And they're still around, but their lead singer's changed, and we kind of found the lead singer more than the group itself. It's a fantastic show. I'm sure the show is still really good, but I can't speak to that because we haven't had a chance to go see them since we've come back from law school. But we used to watch them like 3 times a month. And it was, it was great. Practically, it was $5 to get in. Yeah.
Where did they perform?
South Point on
Oh, it's a South
Saturday. So
Point.
they
Okay.
perform all over the place. And if you wanted to, they have a Facebook page. There's a free plug, I guess. But
we'll send them a bill.
Yeah,
too.
they'll send them a bill. But yeah, they're fantastic. Her and I love doing that.
Cool. No, it's funny. We live here, and we have like Jeremiah and Bridget said in their answer to this question. We live in a touristy town, so there's so much for us to choose, and there's always new things to do that we can be tourists in our own city and partake in what Las Vegas offers for entertainment, for leisure, and all that there is. And it's a great town to be in. Like, again, if you live in nothing but a beach town, pretty much you have the beach as your main form of entertainment. But in Vegas, there's so much to do, and people always ask me, outside of doing this, what do you love to do in Vegas? And there's so much you can do, and not run out of things to do.
Well, what is your answer to that question?
To Vegas? I'm not a big, believe it or not, because where I grew up in New Jersey, I was attuned to the gaming because where I was to Atlantic City. So playing all that stuff, not necessarily my cup of tea. So the Strip, not necessarily. My wife and I we'd love to go down to Fremont Street periodically and just kind of people watch and do all of that and take in Fremont. Because Fremont is different than the Strip, right? I think you'd agree there's a different vibe down there, right? So we love to people watch in this town, especially on Fremont. But we love, like everybody, I mean, we love the restaurants, just and not that we can eat as much as we used to, but whatever we can partake in now, just to try the different things. Gaming is not a big part of our lives out here. And we do have some new things on our list that we want to do. We've never been to the Springs Preserve. I actually helped build that. When I was in Kiwanis, when they first were creating that, all the flowers and the shrubbery and everything, one of our projects one weekend is all of Kiwanis here in Las Vegas. We went for like 8 or 10 hours and planted many of the bushes as a service project at the Springs Preserve. And I've never gone back to check it out to see the plants we planted and how they are doing today. So that's a new thing on our bucket list we have to do.
Yeah, I would recommend doing it either in the fall or spring.
Yeah, no, not in the summer.
But you don't want to do it, yeah.
Not in the summer. You wilt like the trees and bushes out there. Right. What's your favorite thing to do, Danny?
In Vegas?
Yeah, Vegas, typical Vegas thing.
I love, so they don't do breakfast anymore, but I live in Henderson, and our favorite restaurant is the Rainbow Club.
Oh my God.
Really?
They haven't changed in like 30 years. My brother's a waiter there, so it's another good excuse to go in there. But they do a $1.89 breakfast, and they
you
have
don't
the best.
Find that anymore.
They have the best biscuits and gravy in the world. They still serve the breakfast, but they don't do it. They don't open until 11 a.m. now.
Gotcha.
So you don't get the breakfast special. But,
do you at least get a family discount when you go in with them?
No, but there's nothing on the menu that's over $10.
Oh,
you can get a steak dinner for $10.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and the portions are huge too. Like it's
and that's
really
classic.
good. I love that place.
And that's classic Las Vegas.
It's Peppermill owned, so they have the cheesy neon, and it's just great. No windows. It's super smoky.
Wow.
I've been going there since I was a kid. So.
Nice. We were talking about restaurants over the weekend as well. How much time do I have in this?
We have about 4 minutes.
All right, perfect. This will give me an opportunity to transition because really what you've talked about and what Bridget and Jeremiah talked about focuses on a word that I've really started to embrace over the last year and a half with my transition, my health I always have to say health transition because I don't want people to think it's any other kind of transition. You know what I'm saying? But that's okay. I mean, it's just a weird word to say at times. Anyway, mindset. Mindset, folks. Here's the definition of mindset. 2 very quick ones as a noun: an attitude, disposition, or mood, an intention or inclination. The bottom line is no matter what we do every day, like Jeremiah said in his segment, getting out of bed is a decision and a choice. But you have to have the right mindset to accomplish things in life. I am going to get out of bed. I am going to have a good day today. I am going to go to the gym to work out after a frustrating day. Whatever it is. If your mindset is not in tune with your goals and direction and purposes, you're never going to accomplish anything. If you're always negative, if you're thinking, oh, you can't do that, or the naysayers out there, you'll never have this accomplishment, you'll never do this, you'll never do that. Guess what that does to your mindset? It puts you 12 steps behind your goal, if not further. Folks, you've got to have the proper mindset, that proper attitude in order to accomplish the things that you want to do, whether in my case, getting healthy. Dan's case was becoming an attorney because he fell in love with one class. That one class set his mindset in a direction to be the successful attorney that he is today in family law. You've got to set your mind to that type of direction. Otherwise, you will not get to where you want to go. The road will be bumpy. There'll be too many off-ramps to getting to your destination. Make sure you do mantras, you meditate. A lot of people like to meditate to get into the right mindset every day. It's just, for me, it's just all about being positive, maintaining where I've worked hard to get over the last 16 months, really not do anything to hurt myself health-wise and derail. But, folks, you've got to get into the right mindset. Do with that what you will. Just wake up, be happy every day. That's a very simple mindset. Dan the man, thank you for coming in. It's been fun.
It's been awesome.
Good. I'm glad you had a good time. Don't forget, real quickly, phone number.
Phone number, 702-576-9885. I also have a Facebook page, the Law Office of Daniel C. Allen, LLC. Check it out. I do videos and all that good stuff on there.
Good guy to know in your back pocket as well. To Jeremiah and Bridget, my first hour, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it. Danny, as always, my friend, thank you so much for doing what you do. I appreciate what you do so much. You have no idea. Thursday night, the 21st, come to Ignite Your Soul down in at the Hampton Inn's down on Sunset near the park, 6 p.m. for that event. And, of course, be on the lookout for our podcasts and next week's show. I've got some great guests next week. Catherine Natali and Peter Popper Giorgio are coming into the studio in different hours, ironically, but they'll be here next week to have some fun and talk about entertainment and podcasts and the whole like. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in on Facebook. Yes, Kathy, mindset is everything. Thank you so much. Thank you to my listeners. Thank you to everybody who listens on podcasts. Have a great week. Next week, we're back here on Aaron's Hour and KSHP 1400 AM Las Vegas.
The world was new beneath the blue umbrella sky. Then softer than a piper man, one day it called to you, and I lost you to the summer wind. The autumn wind and the winter wind have come and they have gone, and still the days, those lonely days, they go on and on.
It's the Vegas Bowl, Tuesday morning at 10 on AM 1400, KSHP North Las Vegas, and KSHP.com.
USA Radio News.
We do.